Have you ever touched a woman in a way that changed everything? Not in a physical or intimate sense, but in a moment where your energy, your presence and your intention made her melt without you even trying. Have you ever wondered why one man's touch feels powerful while another man's touch feels like nothing? And more importantly, have you ever asked yourself what kind of touch creates emotional connection, attraction, and unforgettable moments? Today we're breaking it all down, using the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Stoic presence and real human psychology. But before we dive in, if you're new here, welcome to Stoic Glow, your home for modern Stoic masculinity, power and emotional mastery. Make sure you subscribe, drop a like, and watch this video till the very end, because what you're about to hear may completely change the way women feel around you, and it might even change the way you remember love itself. The story, the touch that changed her. There was a man named Ethan, quiet, calm, observant, the kind of man who didn't speak much. But when he did, every word mattered. He wasn't the biggest, the richest, or the loudest. But he had presence, a kind of grounded stillness that drew people in. There was a woman he liked, Sophia. Beautiful, warm, playful, but guarded. She wasn't the type to fall quickly, and she had met far too many men who thought touch alone could win her. But Ethan was different. He never rushed. He never acted like he deserved closeness. He understood something Marcus Aurelius once said: the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts, meaning the energy you carry influences everything you touch. And Ethan carried the kind of energy women feel without words. As their story unfolds, you'll discover the 4 places Ethan touched her. The 4 touches women can't resist, not because of lust, but because of the emotional meaning behind each one. These 4 touches changed Sophia's heart, slowly, gently, powerfully. And today, you'll learn them too. 1. Her lower back, the touch of reassurance. Have you ever touched a woman in a moment when she didn't say anything, but you could tell she needed you? Maybe you remember a moment from your own life. A late night walk, a crowded street, a moment where she hesitated, and your hand naturally moved to her lower back. Let me ask you something. Do you remember how she breathed differently? How her shoulders softened? How she either leaned in or looked back at you with that quiet, grateful expression? That moment wasn't an accident. And today's story will remind you exactly why that touch is unforgettable. Let's return to Ethan and Sophia. It happened on a rainy evening. The kind where the sky looks heavy and the world feels a little slower. They were walking through the city, talking about nothing and everything. But as they approached a busy intersection, Sophia paused. She didn't explain why. She didn't need to. Sometimes a woman pauses because she's uncomfortable. Sometimes because she's thinking. And sometimes because she wants to see if the man she's with is aware of her, not just walking beside her. This is the moment where most men fail. They rush ahead. They get impatient. They ask, "What happened?" in a confused or irritated tone. But Ethan wasn't most men. He didn't rush. He didn't question. He didn't panic. He simply placed his hand gently on the small of her back. Not forceful, not possessive, not claiming her. Just a calm, steady, masculine touch. A touch that said more than words ever could. Sophia felt it instantly. Her heart didn't race. It slowed. Her breath didn't catch. It deepened. Her mind didn't question. It trusted. And tell me honestly, have you ever wanted to make a woman feel that safe around you? Have you ever wished that one simple touch could communicate everything you feel but don't say? Because this touch, the lower back touch, isn't about physical attraction. It's about subconscious reassurance. It taps into the feminine instinct that says, "I can relax around this man. He notices me. He's present. He leads, but he doesn't control." Women don't melt because of the touch. They melt because of the energy behind the touch. Marcus Aurelius taught that real strength is gentle and measured, power rooted in intention, not domination. Ethan's touch reflected exactly that. And here's the truth you may already know from your own experiences. A woman always remembers the moment a man made her feel safe without needing anything in return. So let me ask you again, has a woman ever paused in front of you, and instead of words, all she needed was your calm presence? Have you ever felt her body soften slightly when you guided her forward? Have you ever seen her give that tiny smile, the one she tries to hide? Because your touch made her feel understood. If you have, you already know why this touch matters. If you haven't, this is your chance to learn. Because the small of a woman's back isn't a place of desire. It's a place of trust, reassurance, grounding. A place where a stoic man communicates one thing: you're safe. I'm here. Let's move together. And that she never forgets. Oh, the touch of emotional connection, her hands. Have you ever noticed how a woman's hands reveal her heart long before her words do? Let me tell you a story. Ethan was sitting with Sophie at a quiet rooftop cafe. The sun was setting. The world looked peaceful, but inside Ethan there was chaos. He wasn't sure if Sophie truly liked him, or if he was just another passing moment in her life. They talked, laughed, shared stories. But Ethan kept wondering, is she really into me? Or is she just being polite? And then something happened. Sophie reached across the table, not dramatically, not deliberately, but lightly, gently, her fingers brushing the back of his hand. It was only for a second, but in that second, silence felt louder than words. Women don't touch a man casually when they like him. That touch was a message, quiet, soft, but powerful. A Stoic like Marcus Aurelius would say, "The truth is often simple. Do not complicate what is clear." Ethan realized something important. When a woman feels emotionally connected, her hands become fearless. She adjusts your collar. She fixes your sleeve. She brushes dust off your shoulder. She holds your arm when crossing the street. She pulls your hand closer without fully grabbing it. These small gestures reveal a deep truth. A woman's touch shows comfort, safety, and emotional trust. Because a woman will only touch the man she feels drawn to. Not physically, but emotionally. Sophie's touch wasn't an accident. It was her heart whispering, "I feel safe with you." And Ethan finally understood. The connection was real. 3. The touch of tender presence. Her face. A woman will never let just any man touch her face. It's one of the most emotionally vulnerable parts of her body. A place she guards, protects and shields from anyone she doesn't deeply trust. And when she allows it, or initiates it, that tells you more about her heart than anything she says. Let me share a story. Daniel and Amelia had been talking for months. Their connection was calm but powerful, the type of connection that doesn't scream, but quietly grows. One evening, they were walking near the riverside. The wind was cold, and Amelia's hair kept falling across her face. As they talked, she suddenly stepped closer, so close that Daniel could feel her breath against his neck. Then it happened. She lifted her hand, gently placed it against his cheek, and brushed a strand of hair away from his forehead. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't planned. It was instinct. A woman only touches a man's face when she feels safe with his presence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When her thoughts about you are warm, her actions follow. Women don't allow face touching without emotional trust. This is the touch that reveals, "I feel at peace with you. I trust you not to hurt me. Your presence comforts me. I want you close, closer than others." It's not about the touch itself. It's about what she's surrendering. Her guard, her fear, her emotional walls. When Amelia touched Daniel's face, she wasn't testing him. She was revealing herself. And Daniel understood. This wasn't desire. This was tender presence, the beginning of something real. 4. The touch of steady masculinity. Her shoulders. There's a reason a woman reacts differently when a man touches her shoulders. It's not a casual touch. It's not romantic. It's something deeper, a place where her emotions meet your presence. Let me take you into a moment that might feel like your own story. Ethan and Sophia had been friends for a long time, but everyone around them knew there was something unspoken between them, a quiet spark waiting for the right moment. They weren't rushing anything. They weren't pretending. They were simply present with each other. One evening, after a long, exhausting week, Sophia showed up at Ethan's apartment. She wasn't her usual energetic self. Her shoulders were dropped, her eyes were dull, and her voice was soft. Have you ever seen a woman you care about look like that? That tired look? Where she's strong for everyone else, but with you her guard drops. Sophia sat down on the couch and let out a breath she'd been holding for days. Ethan didn't say anything dramatic. He didn't try to solve her problems. He simply walked behind her and gently placed his palms on her shoulders. And in that moment, everything changed. Her shoulders loosened instantly. Her breath steadied. Her eyes softened. Because here's something most men don't realize. A woman's shoulders carry her stress, her responsibilities, her worries, her world. When a man touches her shoulders gently but confidently, it sends a powerful message. You're not alone. I'm here. Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes stronger by calm endurance. But even strength needs rest. And the shoulder touch is where a woman finally allows herself to rest. Women love this touch because it feels protective, not possessive. It feels grounding, not demanding. It gives her space while reminding her she's supported. It connects her emotionally without overwhelming her. When Ethan's hands rested on Sophia's shoulders, she didn't flinch or pull away. She leaned back into his touch, slowly, naturally, like her body had been waiting for it. And maybe you've had a moment like this too. A moment where she didn't say she needed you, but her body did. This touch is not aggressive. It's not sensual. It's steady masculinity, calm, strong, silent reassurance. Sophia later told Ethan something that stayed with him forever. When you touched my shoulders, it felt like my whole world finally stopped shaking. Women don't forget the man who gives them that feeling. So remember this. Her shoulders aren't just a part of her body. They're where her battles live. And when she lets you touch them, she's letting you carry a little bit of her world, not as a savior, not as a hero, but as a man she trusts with her quiet fears and her strongest hopes. The end of the story. In the end, Sophia didn't fall for Ethan because of his looks or charm or jokes. She fell for him because of his presence, his intention, his emotional intelligence, and the way his touch aligned with his character. A Stoic man touches with meaning. He touches with awareness. He touches from a place of stability, not desire, not neediness, not insecurity. Women can resist a lot, but they cannot resist a man whose touch awakens safety, tenderness, emotional connection, and masculine calm. Master these emotionally, not just physically, and a woman will never forget your presence. And with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.